I'm Sean Keach, Head of Technology and Science at the US Sun, and I'm here to talk about whether TikTok is going to be banned in the USA. The app is owned by a Chinese company called ByteDance, and lawmakers are worried that ByteDance could be forced by China to spy on Americans. Now, the House of Representatives has voted to force TikTok to split from ByteDance permanently. The ban was passed in the House 352 to 65, giving the bill overwhelming support.
On this vote, the yeas are 352, the nays are 65. One present, 2/3 being in the affirmative. The rules are suspended, the bill is passed, and without the objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
So how would the ban work? Well, TikTok will have just 5 months to break up from the Chinese tech giant. And if it doesn't, app stores in America will be banned from letting you download the app. For instance, Apple would have to remove it from its app store on iPhone, and Google will be forced to do the same for the Play Store on Android phones. Now, if an app store is caught offering TikTok in the USA, it would face very heavy fines, so the incentive is to just not offer it at all. Importantly, the app won't be removed from your phone. It's not just going to vanish overnight when you unlock your device. But two things will happen that will hurt TikTok. First, people won't be able to download it fresh. That means no newcomers to TikTok. So if you've not been using it already, you won't be able to get the app. And if you change your phone or buy a new device, you won't be able to download the app either. Secondly, app stores wouldn't be able to give you updates, which would eventually make the app useless. This is especially important in terms of security updates. TikTok won't be able to deliver fixes to bugs and dangerous security holes, leaving users, aka you, at risk. And TikTok won't be able to upgrade the app either, so it won't be able to add support for new devices and new versions of smartphone software. So really bad news.
Under this law, ByteDance could be compelled by the Chinese government to provide data on every American TikTok user. They can weaponize this data to exploit and manipulate Americans through surveillance and disinformation. This legislation separates TikTok's data, algorithms, and source code from ByteDance. And importantly, this bill does not ban TikTok, something I do not support. I support divestiture because our first and most important responsibility as members of Congress is to defend our Constitution and defend the United States of America. The bill would also give Americans secure ownership of their data, including posts, photos, and videos, and give this administration and future administrations the authority to respond to future national security threats. For all these reasons, I urge all colleagues to vote for this legislation in the name of our national security.
If TikTok is banned, what would happen? Firstly, it would be a massive blow to TikTok because the app is used by 170 million Americans. But it would also potentially hurt some of those Americans too. Many TikTok creators say banning the app would infringe on their freedom of speech. And TikTok itself has even warned that 5 million businesses rely on the app and that they would suffer if the app was banned. Plenty of Americans have made careers from TikTok, and people who run businesses use the app as a way to advertise their products or services for free. TikTok is especially popular with young people and works a lot like a social network, letting friends chat with each other. So if TikTok was banned, these users would have to shift to other apps. This would be a major boost to Mark Zuckerberg's Meta, which owns Facebook and Instagram. You can really imagine people flocking to those apps if TikTok was banned.
Who is going to buy it? That's the question that we should be asking. Who is going to buy it? Who will be the next to control the data of over 170 million Americans? Are we going to trust Mark Zuckerberg to control their data? I certainly don't. By the way, most of the time, my posts on Facebook are shadow banned, and I certainly don't have the reach on that social media account. This is really about controlling Americans' data. And if we cared about Americans' data, then we would stop the sale of Americans' data universally, not just with China. There's some further issues. This is a Pandora's box. What's to stop Congress or the United States government in the future from forcing the sale of another social media company, claiming that it's protecting Americans' data from foreign adversaries? I think we could see in the future another Russia, 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 and possibly force the sale of X, as many members in this body claim that Elon Musk is altering the algorithms of X. By the way, it was Elon Musk's purchase of X that restored my social media account on Twitter and allowed me to have my free speech back on Twitter.
But will TikTok actually be banned? The decision isn't final. Now the bill moves to the Senate. It'll be assigned a committee, debated, and ultimately voted on. And if it passes through the Senate, the president will then have to sign the bill. Biden has already said that he's willing to do it. But Donald Trump has recently spoken out about how banning TikTok would benefit Facebook, which he is not happy about. Just recently, Trump said Facebook has been very bad for our country. So if Trump becomes president, he could totally reverse a ban. Now all eyes are on the Senate to see if they can push through the ban. Can TikTok escape the ban? Well, if the bill becomes law, TikTok has an option to avoid being banned. ByteDance can sell TikTok's US business to a US buyer. Microsoft had previously shown interest in buying up TikTok, but that deal was eventually killed. Other tech companies might attempt to buy up the app, but they could face antitrust issues. You have to imagine a big tech company like Meta could be seen to hold a social media monopoly if it ended up buying TikTok. Another option is for ByteDance to sell TikTok to investors outside of China. But we won't know the fate of TikTok in America until the bill has passed and has been signed by the president. So you can keep using TikTok for now.
To be clear, until that data transfer happens, user data remains accessible to the Chinese Communist Party. On March 1st of this year, the committee asked you when you plan to delete non-public historical U.S. user data. Are you aware of this?
Congressman, it's really assessment that the Chinese government can get access to the data. It's really for, look, this is a private content. This is what Chinese employees.
You responded in writing to this committee. I have the response that we got back from you on March 7th, just 6 days later. Your attorneys wrote, the company, I'm quoting, the company plans to be in the process of deleting non-public historic U.S. user data this month and anticipates that the process will be completed this year.
Thanks for watching, and be sure to check out the US Sun for all the latest tech tip, gadget advice, and some ways to save money too.